You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's R&B Divas LA After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's R&B Divas LA After Show.
Oh, here we go. You gonna give us something tonight?
And Bing is for doing, and we are doing here on AfterBuzz TV, R&B Divas LA, Season 1. I am your host, Bamm Ericsen, and this, Larice, what is it? No single lick records?
Can't sing a lick record.
Oh, they gave me a deal? Shut your mouth. I got a record deal already?
Not quite. We're still working on that, though.
Okay.
Keep it going, though.
But introduce yourself.
I'm Megan Thomas, also known as @MegScoop on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And I'm Larice People @TruePeoples.
Hello, my name is Alfred Nolan Thomas II.
And so we want to thank you guys for tuning in. So last night's episode got a little turned up.
It did.
Just give us your thoughts really quick.
I think overall the episode this is the episode I was waiting to happen because it was like the last 3 episodes moving so smoothly where everybody was getting along and
was going so
some disagreements, but they kind of got over it like mature women. But this episode I was waiting for it to happen to blow up like boom.
Yeah, I would say it was the big boom of dang. We went strong for what, good 3-4 episodes.
3 episodes.
Three
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah, I think it's finally like the storm that officially started letting you see into. Oh no! I think they're gonna make some decisions that's just gonna ruffle some feathers. It's just gonna start some controversy.
I think it's the rain that's about to pour on Kelly. I think that's what it is.
I think she about to be out of the storm, messing around.
She gonna be the Nikki. Get her.
I know. I'm a little sad because there's some people who shall remain nameless until we talk about it that I'm not so happy with right now.
That's how you feel?
That's exactly how I feel.
Can we get that look one more time? Okay, there you go.
Right there. There you go.
Eyebrow.
How you feel about that, Bill?
Dun, 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 dun.
We'll discuss it. Is our caller? Is he on?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. So let's just dive in. Let's dive into last night's episode. So it opens up with Chanté and her manager Cheryl.
What's her name?
Cheryl.
Cheryl or Cheryl?
Cheryl.
I don't know.
You're from the South. It's Cheryl.
Cheryl. Okay.
And so Chanté was revealing to Cheryl about what happened in Vegas, and they were talking about the monologues that's coming up. So you can tell that's what was preluding to what this episode was going to be about. And so Chanté talks. Cheryl asks her, what does she want to share? And so she says that she just wants to bring something. She just wants to be able to, give the past and the present about.
I think these monologues is just as bad as the R&B Divas Atlanta tour that they was trying to put together. I hope it's not the whole entire season based around these monologues and what's going to happen. Because, again, with the R&B Divas Atlanta, everybody wanted to do a tour. Everybody had problems with it. A couple people had a problem with it because somebody wanted to be the ringleader of it. And I just hope these monologues, like, get through the monologue and let's kind of see what happens next. Right. I think it's becoming a real big issue where it doesn't have to be. And I think the Divas really need to step up to the challenge, get it done. I want to see what else is going to happen. This is the 4th week about the monologue.
Do you think it's going to happen?
We're going to tell by the end of this episode.
No, I said, do you think it's going to happen? Meaning, do you think that the monologues are going to happen with all the 6 ladies?
Oh, all 6? No.
Alfred?
I mean, everything's been going so crazy. Like, one of the things that I think I brought up earlier was my concern with the whole monologue situation is it not being as... an avenue for them to dive so deep into the traumas of their life. And I think it's kind of coming off like a competition to me, where somebody's saying something went wrong with their life, and then someone else comes with something that it just seems like is just as tragic, if not more, which, I mean, I think is just the reality of what these women so happen to have gone through. But in the sense of when you project a certain image to an audience, I felt like that I was weary that it would be oversaturated in the victim overcoming something or having this tragic thing to do with it, where these are very strong, powerful women, and they, like I said at the start of the episodes, they were getting along. They would show you productivity with them working together. So I was like looking for equality. You knew T.I. and Tiny Show type deal, whereas it's going back to this controversy, which is also making me concerned about what kind of product they're going to put out there.
But I can kind of disagree with you about the competition. I think the more the women share with each other, it allows them to open up more about themselves. Because, like, in the beginning, nobody knows what to talk about specifically, but then everyone start opening up about their past or how they feel right now. I think it just allows them to be more comfortable with each other in the monologue and letting them know that it's okay to express your hurt and your pain and those type of things that you will express in your monologue.
I give you that, but it's just, I'm just worried about it becoming a diving spiral of she's opening up, now I got to open up and it go crazy.
But of course.
Well, we have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Good. How are you? You guys, I want you to welcome Tory Russell. He appeared in last week's episode. He's the founder of the Broadway in the Hood. Welcome, Tory Russell.
Hey.
What's going on? What's going on?
How are you? Thank you for calling. So after we did our recap, it was revealed that you did some that you posted on Facebook of how you were portrayed, and what happened in Vegas is not exactly what happened. And so you revealed some information. So the first question we have for you is, can you explain to us why Kelly was not there at the Broadway in the Hood musical for Dreamgirls?
And did you know that ahead of time?
Most definitely. Can I tell you this first?
Yes.
It was 2 separate days. There were 2 separate days. It was a Wednesday that the show was initially scheduled to have the pink carpet, which was in honor of breast cancer awareness. The pink carpet was originally scheduled for Wednesday. So that was the day that the young ladies came in and actually spoke to the cast, all except for Chanté. They came in and actually spoke to the cast. Mm-hmm. So that was one day, although the TV show didn't make it look that way. On that Thursday was the actual pink carpet event. And initially, like I said, it was scheduled for that Wednesday, but I received a call from the producers asking me to move it to that Thursday. And when it comes to Kelly, she's always with Broadway in the Hood. She's always around, and we were very much so aware that she would not be there that Thursday, as well as the young ladies were. The woman who was hosting the red carpet was just another media person, so she was not aware that Kelly was going to be there. But the cast, the crew, we were very much so aware that she was not going to be there.
Okay, and then. That will make sense because we did question the random question when she asked, because it seemed a little bit different. Now speaking of the pink carpet, one of the comments that I particularly made was how it appeared how you were kind of dismissive to the girls and you kind of brushed them off on the red carpet. But you also had footage. That you guys had from PBS, which was also taping it, and it revealed that when you asked the young ladies, the divas, to move off the stage, it was because you asked them to move over to your right because you had a musical presentation for them. But in the footage, it made you appear like you were rude, and you just said, "Move off to the side, ladies."
Here's something that I would like for everybody to realize is that the complete control of any TV show is in the hands of the editor. And when you have people that are editing, they can edit anything to look any specific way. When I sat down and I actually saw the show, I wasn't bothered by the way it was edited or I was portrayed on the pink carpet because I knew the truth. The great part about it was we were blessed the entire time to have PBS following us for a special that they're actually doing on the organization. So there is more footage to come that will be revealed in due time. But, I just want to make sure that I don't step on the TV station's on their feet. But there's definitely more footage involved. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hey, Tori, this is Megan Thomas, and quick question for you. How are you doing?
Megan, you rock. I just want to say that. Thank you so much. I watched the interview, and I just want to say there were several things that you said that were so on point about not necessarily second-guessing performers and all kinds of different things. But I thank you very much for what you said last week.
No problem. We try to be fair here. That's why we're so glad that you called in, and we wanted to give you this platform to set the record straight from your point of view. But one thing that we talked about last week was the fact that it seemed like you kind of ambushed the women to ask them to come and bless the stage and sing. Why was it that you came and asked them, which it seemed like it was maybe intermission? Why didn't you ask them ahead of time? Why was that something that kind of you just threw on there? What was your thoughts behind that?
Thank you so much for asking that question. First off, that Wednesday, the young ladies were prepped. So when they came into the theater, they were very much so aware that they would be coming to the pink carpet on the following day. So that was one of the questions. And I love the way you said in your interview last week, I wonder, they act like they didn't even know they were going. They were chewing gum and on their phones and this, that, and the other. Everyone was very much so aware that they were coming to a pink carpet event in honor of breast cancer awareness. Because it was in the hood, I thought that they, maybe they were assuming that it may not have been as elaborate as it actually was, so to speak. But one of the things that wasn't also shown was that, somebody mentioned about, on one of the newer episodes, about the ladies being late or about Kelly being late. Well, the ladies were 45 minutes late themselves to the pink carpet, which, Hollywood is Hollywood, but we start on time.
Right.
So yes, they were very much so aware, as well as they were prepared. When the producers, so they did the pink carpet, we did the presentation, show started. Right as intermission, we were going into intermission, the producers came over to me and said, excuse me, or someone that works for the company. I can't necessarily say the producer because I don't even know who that is. But the people who worked for the company came over to me and said, we want you to do us a favor. We'd like for you to go over and ask the young ladies to sing a song or do something or sing a song, actually was what they said, during, at the end. And they're already prepared and they're going to say yes. That was their exact words.
Okay.
So when I went over to the ladies and said, hey, how y'all doing? Would you be willing to do something? There was something in my heart that told me that something was a little fishy. So I said, out of my mouth, would you sing or speak or say something? Mm-hmm. And one of the divas actually said, hell no.
Wait, hold on.
And I agreed with it.
Tori, hold on.
What's funny is...
Wait, Tori.
Yes.
I have to ask, what diva said hell no?
I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
You know what? Two things. I sincerely respect every single one of these women. They have done so much in entertainment, and they were gracious enough to come out and lend their time to our organization. You'll see some more stuff later on in the episodes to come that I'm involved in. But I still, till today, have such high regards for every single one of these women who allow someone to put their life on TV and edit it the way that they would like to edit it.
Okay.
So,
we have two more questions for you. So, so you were asked from the producers to ask if they would sing, and they told you that they were already prepared. So with that being said, and some of
you said they were prepared. Oh, that they had already prepped the women. That they were going to say yes.
So
I wanted to make sure I heard you right.
Okay.
Sorry.
So my question to you is, do you feel that you could have just potentially said, no, I'm not really comfortable doing that, maybe you should go tell them to do that? Do you feel like you were set up in some kind of way to be made look?
I think you definitely was set up. I mean, because the way they kind of came over to you.
I'm going to say that obviously they knew what they were doing when they sent me over there saying that they knew I was coming. Here's the thing. people hear Broadway in the Hood and they have no clue of your background, but I've been blessed over the years. And one of the things that I know is that you just don't do that. It's not something that you do. We were happy that they were there, but in the same seat that they sat in a few months prior to, Miss Gladys Knight, Miss Mary Wilson, they all sat in those seats for The Color Purple, and, without any, please come up and this, that, and the other. So when it comes to our professionalism, the level of professionalism that's expected, not only by my cast, my crew, and everyone involved in Broadway in the Hood, is above and beyond what was expected. So, yes, I could have said to them, no, I'm not going to do that. But I was told that they were expecting it. So if you look at my face in the video, what I was really thinking was, what the hell is going on here? I didn't say that. But I didn't say that. What I said was, oh. And if you look, I paused and said, oh, okay, well, y'all think about it and let me know. So that's kind of where that came from.
Okay, and then our last question is, your name was brought up in last night's episode because Kelly said that she had you in mind to direct. So my question is, will we see more of you on R&B Divas LA for this season? Are you contracted any way with TVOne?
Yes. And the only reason why I can't speak to you right this second is because I don't have a contract with TVOne. Okay. You will see me in some upcoming episodes, so that will answer that question. But I am not one for drama, and so I will not give in to, some of the things that were asked, when it comes to drama on TV. Our organization is about excellence, and if I get on television and do certain things and act certain ways, then the young people that I try to inspire and that we try to nurture and cultivate in Broadway in the Hood will have a distaste in their mouth, and that's the last thing that we would want to happen. So the answer is yes, you will.
Okay, so that means
it's quite interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
So basically you are the director for the Mama Law.
Vagina Law.
Let me do this. Because I'm brand new at the social media stuff, by the way, I love your show. I only went to your show to see it because I saw that it had mentioned R&B Divas LA, but now I'm addicted now. Like, you guys are so amazing, and I thank you for bringing
Thank you.
honesty and reality to the internet TV whole game. But I'm new to the whole social media, so everybody needs to hit me up on Twitter because I'm new to this.
What's your
Follow
Twitter
me
page?
on Twitter, Tori Russell.
Okay.
Spell that for us.
Torrey Russell.
Okay, and that way because I was gonna say, because I knew a couple of days ago you weren't on social media, and I was gonna tell you to give information about Broadway in the Hood, but they can basically tweet you now for more information
they can reach us at BroadwayInTheHood.org if they want to find out more information. We're here in Virginia now. I'm actually in Virginia right now, getting ready to produce The Color Purple with a whole new group of 80 young people.
Okay.
All right, well, terrific. Please.
If you need a singer, you can call me.
I got you. I heard you.
Tori, do not encourage that. Please do not encourage that. Please do not encourage.
Do not feed the animals.
Must never part.
Okay. Well,
yes. Amen.
we want to thank you for calling in and chatting with us. And whenever you're in LA, let us know. We would love to come out and check out one of your productions. And so, you guys, we want to thank Mr. Torrey Russell for calling, and we will talk to you soon. All right.
Be blessed. Be safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Tori.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, that was good.
It was. I got me a job on The Color Purple. All right.
You gonna play Celie?
I am.
And Celie didn't sing it with
She didn't sing at all.
No.
She don't sing
So
in
only,
this production?
so
No,
don't,
she
no.
don't.
So the only thing you need to practice is
acting.
Give me a line from
You told Harpo to beat me.
what's the thing?
Until you do
Right by me. So you better practice that. And
I'm gonna sing that until you do right by me. Just like Adventures of Serial Bodies. It's a new movie right here on AfterBuzz TV. It's great. It's kind of like Dexter meets what is it? Dumb and Dumber. It's a really good movie, and it's produced by Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, who they're also the founders here at AfterBuzz TV. Now, what we need you to do is to go to SerialBuddies.com, download the movies. You can also go directly to iTunes and search Adventures of Serial Buddies. And by downloading the movie, you help us here, right here at AfterBuzz TV. We're allowed to continue to provide this programming for you, free of ads, free of, what's my favorite word? Stoppages, free of buffering, all that stuff. So make sure you go to SerialBuddies.com, download the movie. It helps us here, and it's funny, y'all. It's funny.
Laugh out loud. Hilarious.
Okay, so now let's continue on with last night's episode. And so Chanté basically says that Kelly's too busy to do Broadway monologue. And so the next scene we go into at Claudette's house where they're doing yoga with Shidon and Michel'le. And I thought that was interesting because Michel'le did not know yoga. She was sitting there.
She was like, I thought we were supposed to work out.
But Don, for the umpteenth time, said that she's nervous about the monologue because Don is not one. Go ahead, Larice.
I'm just saying, like, Don, please put it. I mean, she has a lot of issues going on, but Don, please pull it together because it's not that serious. You're just telling a story about yourself, and I think she's stressing out more about it, and it's causing the other divas to stress out about it more because they're trying to figure out, like, why are you so nervous about it?
But I think she's one of those kind of people who are naturally nervous. Maybe that helped her with being in Vogue and being in a group and being in a setting where you have like other people around you, and I think that's why she's much of a team player type person. But I could tell just on her experience of the possibility of having to sing, the possibility of doing this monologue, everything's approached with that. But I don't. And I mean, like, I met those type of people.
I'm saying that, but that's not very helpful to a career that's gonna last. I mean, I think it's.
Like, I think she needs the most preparation for anything in her life.
But I'm going to jump on Team Don for a second. And the only reason I'm going to jump on Team Don is because we are in the 4th episode of...
I agree.
We're in the 4th episode, and it was brought up in episode 1, and we've seen nothing about this so far. And it's revealed that this monologue, this play is coming up soon. There has not been any rehearsals. They don't know who the director is, who's a pianist. Like, there has been no information that has been given.
I agree.
So from Don's perspective, it's like, well, hell, like what's going on with this?
I think the biggest issue is that Kelly has an idea, but she haven't orchestrated the idea as carefully in detail. All she's saying, like, hey, ladies, I want y'all to do a monologue. Hey, I want you to do a monologue. I want you to do a monologue. I want you to do a monologue. But she hasn't tell, like, okay, this is how everything is going to run.
Because she doesn't have the time.
I think she got too much going on.
If she don't have the time, then she shouldn't try to orchestrate and put all this pressure on everybody. Like, y'all need to do this.
Okay, but guess what, though?
But I don't think she did that either.
I don't think Kelly really hasn't said much since they talked about it.
Exactly.
So then is it wrong for Chanté to kind of take the wheel and say, you know what, I'm going to get a producer and a director?
No, I don't think it's wrong.
Which was, I mean, I think that whole situation ended up coming off real weird because they had the talk, and I think Kelly is someone who's so caught up in herself that she don't remember nothing that she ain't really like lead.
But she had to talk twice though.
But what's interesting is
because that's amnesia. That ain't even like pretend. I don't think she was lying.
No, you know what that is?
I think she was lying.
No, I think what it is that I don't care about this guy. I have somebody in mind, and he already know my story, and I don't want to tell my story to a complete stranger.
But before we go into that, Jeffrey, Kelly's husband and manager, they're going over the schedule, and he's going over all these things that she has to do, right. And nothing in that schedule had anything to do with the monologues.
No. He did say, though, to his defense, he did say that, you know, one of the most important things we have to do is the monologues, and he's like, we don't have anything scheduled. We got to figure out how we're going to make this all work.
Her thing is like, I know my schedule.
I meant to say that there was nothing on the schedule that says rehearsal, the director, Tori. There was nothing in the schedule that he was listing. There was the 2 concerts that he had coming up in 6 weeks, but there was nothing on the schedule that said rehearsal, acting lessons, or there was nothing.
I think he was trying to. I think that's why he was having the conversation with her to actually get that on her schedule.
I think the bigger issue is with Kelly is an I person. Everything's about her. She's a solo artist. She feels as if that I know mine. I know what I'm gonna tell people, but y'all have to figure out yourself if we can continue to do it. And I think it's selfish of her to even put that on everyone else.
I will agree with that, but I will say this. I do think it was out of place for Chanté to say, I've already gotten us a producer and a director when she was walking down the street with Kelly. She said, I have somebody in mind that we should all meet. So here's the thing. If you have somebody in mind that we should all meet, then that's exactly what it is. We should all meet. It's not, a decision has not been made. So what should have happened is, okay, we're going to meet with him. You're not available that day. When can you meet with him by yourself? That's fine. You can't make a decision, especially when it's not your idea, because then you're stealing.
But at the same time is that they presented, oh, we're going to meet this guy this day. If Kelly was like, I can't meet this day, I can't meet this, they met several times before even Kelly showed up and was like, oh, who is this guy?
And I agree with you, but they should have communicated that to her and said, Kelly, since you're not available, we really want to get this thing off the ground. We're going to go ahead and we're going to select this guy. If you have a problem with that, can you let us know? There should have been a conversation. She should have never walked in there.
I think Kelly in her mind just felt like, I want Tori to be the director, and that's all she see. But she don't want to. She don't have no room for option for no one else.
It took them to the end of the episode for Kelly to even reveal who the director was. I think in the conversation that happened between Kelly and Chanté when they were walking down the street, I think the conversation should have been a little bit different. I do think Chanté should have said, "Hey Kelly, I know you're busy. We haven't had any schedules."
That's babying somebody.
No, it's being respectful to their idea that they brought to you.
But at the same time,
it's being respectful. I think Chanté should have just said, "Hey, I know you're really busy. Is there anything that I can do to help? Because we've never done this before. Maybe we can meet with the producers or the crew while you're doing what you have to do." I just think that Chanté could have done it a little bit better. At the same time, but it wasn't. Hold on. But it was not like Chanté did say, "I'm going to bring in a producer." Kelly said, "I'm not too happy about it," but
But at the same time, Kelly feels the need. She don't want to open herself up to someone else.
But guess what? It's her idea.
Exactly.
It's her idea. Here's the problem with that.
But what about the other 5 women who have to
It was her idea. So if they don't like it, then they need to tell her, look, Kelly, you're busy. You obviously don't have the time to do this the right way that we think it should be done. So us 5 are going to go do something else. And if you want to be a part of it, we want you to. But obviously, our schedules aren't matching up. There should have been a conversation. So I don't blame
the conversation was twice.
I don't think she allowed that to be an easy forum. She wasn't showing up to things. She wasn't really explaining herself. Those girls should have known what was going on as they go into see the performance, or if they're in a situation where they seem like they're asked out and they have a short amount of time. If I was somebody who had pull and had some prestige and had a name that I was trying to brand and keep in a certain status, I would take the initiative to be a part. I would also make sure that I tried to reach out to that person, but at the same time, I think that wasn't easy for them, or else it would have happened like that. Because the way Kelly was getting caught up in her own business, it wasn't like she was being considerate to the ladies on the fact that she's pulling them by the shoestrings, go here, be a part of this, be a part of this, but then doing like a ghost act on them.
This is my thing. If Kelly really had Tori as a director, she would have said it when it was in Vegas and introduced him as a director.
She should have.
I think that Kelly did not have anybody as a director. And I think when Chanté was like, hey, I'm going to seek outside help because you don't have the time. And Kelly's bigger issue is that she don't want anybody else to know her story. And the fact that they went to go seek Fred, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think that is. It's not that she doesn't want people to know her story. She just didn't want him. But she did not want, what's his name, Fred Thomas? What's his name?
But I think it was more, she didn't like the way things were going down. And I think she just chose to really go off on them.
That's what I'm saying. Because this was her idea. This was her baby. Everything was supposed to happen on her terms, and because they did it, then she was like, I'm not going to be helpful at all.
But this is the
thing. I'm going to use the fact that I don't want you to know my story. But that's not true, because she really does. She really will tell her story.
But this is the thing. You're a CEO of a company. You have these individuals working with you, which every diva pretty much is an entity of what's about to happen right now for the vagina law. Okay, if you feel like the CEO's not doing his job, but y'all know the overall goal is our job to make sure we continue to go on with the progress. Kelly did not. She's the CEO. She of this vagina law. She doesn't do anything for them. They trying to basically understand, like, what should we do? How can you help us? And she says nothing. So what do? You go seek outside help and basically build everything up. And at the end of the day, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you don't like it, we're gonna start over from scratch and do it all over again.
I think the problem with these ladies, R&B Divas LA, they don't say what they feel to each other face to face. Let's go back last week. Now, mind you, there were some things that was edited, and the girls, I could tell that the girls didn't know that Kelly wasn't coming, because Little Mo did get on the mic before she sung that song. Don't you go there. She said, Little Mo did say that Kelly, they had got a text from her saying that, you know, something in regards, which kind of alluded that she knew that the girls knew. But when the girls were complaining to, when they had to talk with Kelly in the confessionals, they were all pretty not happy. They were all not happy with the fact that Kelly had something else to do. But not once in that hotel room, none of those 5 women said to Kelly, "Kelly, what you did was wrong," or no one said anything. And they should have said something about this a long time ago. If Black is putting on a production and we don't hear anything and it's on Saturday, yo, Black, what's up? Are we still shooting on Saturday? So I think like the women should have said something to her and said, listen, they have been saying that they are they're nervous about the whole monologue, but there should have been other questions. Who's doing what? Just like if somebody was doing the music video, Chanté knew who was directing the video. She knew who was doing the camera. So I feel like the R&B Divas should have some kind of responsibility for their lack of not doing anything.
But I think Chanté's approach of trying to bring a new director was her attempt to be like, look, girl, I gotta do something.
And I agree with you. I'm glad she did that. She should have took the initiative, but she should have, again, it's about tact. It's like, it's obviously Kelly's idea. She should have came to her and said, Kelly, I know you're busy. I've got somebody for us. Let's check him out to see if he's somebody we would use. And when Kelly told her, I'm not comfortable with that, then she should have said, well, cool. Who do you have in mind? Well, let's go check him out. Let's see what he's doing. And maybe he's better than the guy that I've sought out.
And again, like they just showed that clip. The conversation could have been more in detail outside of that clip.
Right.
But again, it's like Lil Mo said something to her also about it, and she just kind of like, okay, yeah, when we gonna meet this guy? And what did she say? Nothing.
Yeah, she was sitting there doing the whole.
Yeah, like.
Right, and I think that's an issue. I feel like, in a sense, I love these ladies, but they're acting a little high schoolish in this regard, especially when they kick the director out or he kicks himself out, and they have this discussion, and Kelly says that she's never heard about this producer-director, and Little Mo in her confessional is like, what? I was at your house and I told you about him. She should have said that to her. She should have said, what do you mean? You're okay.
But you know,
she should have brought that up.
The whole thing is,
like, don't lie about it.
And I think Dawn just kind of piggybacking on Kelly, because Dawn was there also when Lil Mo told her, and she's just like, oh, I never heard this. Like, seriously, like, come on, like, let's be grown.
Right.
But I think they were playing him to the left, like, I never heard of him. Like, his name doesn't mean anything.
No, okay. I think it's more so they never heard of him being the fact that nobody told me that you was directing this, because she was like, oh, you're the director. You're not the director. We have someone else to direct the play. And that should have been. It just was ugly. It just was very rude and nasty. Again, this guy didn't do anything to them. Exactly. What is his name? I want to make sure I get it. Fred Thomas Jr. Fred Thomas Jr.
Yes,
you got that Thomas name?
Yeah, I know Thomas. Yeah. So he came, like they said, he came for work. That's all he did. He showed up because he was supposed to do a job. Now, if you don't like the fact that he's not the one to do this, he's not the one that Kelly should have had an attitude with. She should have had an attitude with the other divas, especially Chanté. She should have been like, sir, it's nothing against you because I don't know you and I don't know anything that's going on here. So I need to go talk to Chanté, and that's exactly what she should have done.
But this is the thing, though. When you walk into you're actress, you're actor, and you're actor. When you walk in any like coach class, it's their class. They have control of that class. If you walk into my class, I have control. If you don't want to do as I ask you to do, you can leave my class. My class still gonna go on, but you're not gonna basically come in basically like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. And I thought that was real rude to Kelly.
And I commend Fred for the way he handled that situation. I know it's very hard to be put on blast or be, confronted in that kind of manner to where you can't really like lash out or say anything. You got to be a professional yourself, and walking out of that room was probably the best thing he could have did.
Let's talk about the positive things that Fred was able to do.
Structure.
But can I say something before this? Even if she did not want Fred to orchestrate or direct, the monologues for the women, at least he gave them a good start idea how to pull everything together. And I think that we have to commend Fred for that because what he did was great because 4 of the divas actually understood what what they was doing now. I mean, how to like orchestrate the monologue. Even if Kelly wanted to come in and change, it's okay. You know, it's like, oh well, and she's like, how do you know I want to be in this lineup? Okay, cool, you don't have to, but this is just a outline or a format that we can or a platform that we can change at any moment. And so that's a great point, Larice. And the 4 weeks that we've watched, the 3 weeks prior that we've watched, there hasn't been any rehearsal. There hasn't been any preparation. He meets with Little Mo, Claudette, pretty much. He met with all the girls except for Don and Kelly, and no one knew anything. It was like no one knew anything. Who shot John forgot to kill him. Nobody knew anything. Yeah. And he listened. He gave an idea and he ran with it. That is what a director does. That is what a director does. Even for someone who doesn't have music per se, let's look at his credits. They did reference that he did direct a couple of the NAACP Image Awards, and right? No, I thought they said he got awarded. Yeah, he got nominated for awards. Oh, my bad. I was trying to help him out because there's musical performance in that. So okay, I jumped the gun a little bit. But even without the musical performances, when you're a director, you at least know how to structure something. Okay, of course he can't write score. He can't write. You're too flat. You're too sharp. He doesn't need to do that. What they really need is a structure because it's a play where there's music involved. Exactly. So if he doesn't know music, you can always get somebody to help them with the music. But the most important part is that it's a play and it comes off like a monologue. And Little Mo did reference in the meeting that she had with Don and Kelly that her husband, who's a musician, he's a pianist. Yeah. Fred can do all of the direction, and Fred can do the music. He plays. Yes. He can easily do the music. You mean? Her husband? Yes, I'm sorry. Her husband, Philip. Her husband, Philip, knows all the music, and so Philip can do the music, and Fred can direct. So for me, I felt that what Fred did was he was brought into a situation that he was asked to help. Now, was it conveyed? Was he told that he was directing, or was it conveyed to him that you could potentially direct this? I wasn't sure. Yeah. I think it's more of a potential because again, like they said, they was basically seeking help with their monologue. Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this in retrospect to how the women, when they first got together, how everything was organic and the times they got and had sat down and had food together and naturally came with input. I think they kind of lost that system which was working for them and actually taking care of things. If they had bought into that they already had got together and kind of just formulated just naturally being good-hearted to each other and caring about what was going on, I think a lot of the issues that they're coming together to have right now, it just doesn't make sense. They're going against the grain of what naturally worked for them, which would have been Kelly being busy, being able to go handle her business and still have a situation that the girls are being developed under with Fred and being able to maybe take it to that next director and take it to the next level. If it had to be, well, I already had my ideas. I don't think it had to be a situation where she was totally turned off by it. I think it was a situation where, if you want to control this thing, go ahead and take your puppy back. Ain't nobody trying to take it from you. Exactly. But we're not trying to sit around and then have some garbage either. Yeah, right. I just think the biggest thing that with Kelly, because she's so busy, that she should have hired somebody. Or if Tori really is going to be the director, he should have been there, like from episode 3, like introduced, like Tori's going to be the one to direct the monologues, and he'll be there with y'all, helping y'all direct it, present it, in the presentation. So, do you think that Kelly only referenced Tori's name as a scapegoat because she didn't have a director and she didn't like the fact of what she saw? Is that what you guys think?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't say that, but I still think that she didn't handle that right, regardless if that was an issue or not. I think just in the sense of, if I come up with a great idea and I have a great amount of friends that are coming together to be a part of this and they all bring a lot to the table, then as a leader, I should get engaged in what we're doing. But if I just bring out the idea and then you got great people who can take it and run with it and help you out, and you just sit there and expect them just to wait for you, then you get that kind of result of people are not going to sit on a great idea. You have to be a part of those kind of dreams.
I think that's why that I honestly think she did have Tori in mind from the beginning. But here's the problem. I don't think she had planned that far yet. I don't think she was that far Kelly was that far in her planning. So she probably had Tori in mind. She probably hadn't even talked to him yet.
If she did, she should have said that when Chanté mentioned it to her.
But that's why she was mad, because she's like, yo, this was my idea. Y'all just decided to take my idea and run with it. I'm not there yet with my idea. I'm trying to just make it all fit with my life. But y'all took the idea that I had and decided you wanted to take it and do something else with it. So it's kind of one of those like one-ups, like a prideful thing pretty much. Like, this was my idea. Instead of going, you know what, you guys did take the ball with it. Thank you, because I'm kind of busy. You guys did that. Instead of being happy about that, she just kind of felt a little salty because this was her idea and it wasn't going the way that she had planned, which was no plan at all.
But it's no different in the social network before Mark Zuckerman kind of took over like Facebook. Oh, it was an idea. You didn't initiate it correctly. So what happened?
What's his name?
Mark Zuckerman.
Zuckerberg, you mean?
Zuckerberg.
Hold on, wait a minute, what?
You know who I'm talking about.
At first I did not gonna lie.
But at the same time,
I knew he was talking about.
It's no different. You have a great idea, but if you don't initiate your great idea, it's just an idea.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, I think we can pretty much go on and on because there's many sides. You know, there's the side of what Kelly did, and then Chanté, and then how Don took sides. It's a touchy situation, but before we move on, it does explain. You remember a couple weeks ago, Mixed Hoop, how you reported that when you were driving by L.A.,
yes,
and you saw the marquee that said the vagina. What's it called? Your mama.
Not your mama.
Not your mama.
No, I don't think that's the name of it. That was, I think, the tagline for it. It might be the name, but when I saw it, it looked like it was just the motto for it, not your mama's, monologue. But only Don and Kelly were on that banner.
And that now makes sense because Don was on Kelly's side.
Yep. And Tori said we will see him, so I'm wondering what we're going to see him in the next few episodes, except for directing them.
I am curious as to why Don jumped on Kelly's side so quickly. And why wasn't she there?
Because Kelly got hits. A lot of them. I think everybody else.
She's gonna rejuvenate my career.
Right.
But Little Mo has hits too. So let's discuss Little Mo and what's going on in her life. So Little Mo is visiting basically LA. I don't know if it's for the taping, but she wants a new environment and a change.
Move on.
And so she's trying to get her move on to really make a mark in the music industry, and she feels that LA is this place. And so she wants to move to LA, but her husband is a little on the fence about it, and then the family comes down to visit. So what do you guys, I'm gonna wait till you guys, but the first question is, do you think that her husband, Philip, do you think he should have been more supportive of Little Mo wanting to come to California, or do you think his points were valid?
I think his points are very valid. I don't think you have to be. I mean, one thing I would like to say is I love the relationships on this show. I think when it comes to husband-wife, star, manager type situations, that these guys are really like communicating well and being able to express their opinions and come together and respect each other's sides. And in this particular situation, I think Philip was right to feel the way he feels about it, especially in the sense of having a foundation in Baltimore, having a whole family, having a family outside of your immediate family to help you with the ins and outs of what goes on. I think it's very valid how she feels and where she wants to do. And I mean, when it comes to being artists and being at different points in your life, there are going to be some decisions that are going to take some real compromises or some real decision making between you and your family. And I think that they came together the correct way, even allowing the kids to have a voice and an opinion about that. I thought that was brilliant.
I don't know about that.
I think in the sense of knowing where their heart is, I think you should care. If you care about your kids and allow them to grow with your family, I think you should ask them how they feel about it. Whether at the end of the day, mom and dad are mom and dad. So I feed into that just as much as I feed into giving your kids the platform to have a mindset and then be a part of the family and feel like they're a part of the process of things that's going on.
I agree with you. I do think that you should allow your children to. You should ask your children what they think. But again, it's about how you do it. I don't think it is ever okay to talk about another parent in front of the child. And the scene where Little Mo's family was there, her parents were there, all her kids were there, and she was basically saying like, To me, she was talking bad about their father, and she was putting.
I didn't take it that way.
Well, she was putting the business of the parents out for their kids, and I think the only thing kids should worry about being as kids. Don't worry about mommy and daddy's custody battles and that kind of stuff. So I didn't like the fact that all of that was laid out. The stuff she was talking about with her parents was laid out before the kids. I feel like she should have said that with her parents and her husband, aside from the kids, and then ask them later, like, "Hey, what do you guys want to do?" And I think I agree with you. She should have asked him, but I just think the venue, the time, and the place was not correct.
Been, yeah,
well, maybe definitely a better venue, but I still am kind of on the.
She tried to sweeten him up. Me like,
no, when I say venue, I mean the people that were present in the conversation she was having.
I mean, I thought that's more of a conversation at the home, and probably you warm up to it. But I didn't mind the way they had the grandparents, her and him, and able to express their opinions. I thought, I mean, it wasn't like they had harsh conversations, so I thought it was healthy. I mean, if the dad ain't doing nothing for the daughter, they know that. So it's
again, I don't think that's something you say in front of your children. They can figure that out on their own.
True. I agree with you on that one, but I think it's also interesting that we see where Little Mo gets her. Where she gets her little Mo-ness from, because her mama is very off the hook.
Yeah, I love her mom.
I don't. Although I disagree with Little Mo's mom and some of the comments that she made.
Like what?
I'll tell you just as soon as I find them.
Well, you look for them, and I will say this. I agree with, I'll say, at first I had a problem with her husband not being on her side about bringing the kids there. But when I saw her support, I saw her family, it makes sense. And her mom was right when she said, nobody's stopping you from going on with your career.
I disagree. She said, nobody's stopping your career, boo. That I disagree with. If this is the place, if LA is the place where she can go to advance her career, then I feel like they should support her. She's a great singer. She's already had success. If she needs to go to the next level, then rather than say nobody's stopping your career, I felt it was a little out of pocket, because let's be honest, Little Mo, I don't want to disrespect the husband, but she's probably the breadwinner of the family. Although he's a great musician and composer, she potentially may be the breadwinner of the family. And although the grandparents are, taking care of the other two kids because they're there, I felt like if your daughter is trying to go to the next level, I mean, California is probably the place where she needs to go, and I felt like there should be support.
But I think that's their version of the support. It's saying we'll take care of them so you can go do this, because her husband said they don't have any help. It's very expensive in LA to have a nanny, so you got your parents who you don't have to pay LA nanny prices to.
But the parents are retired, and she wants all four of her children with her while they're in LA.
I think there's one extra thing to that.
But that's not an extra. Those are her children.
But again, and her husband says that they're also someone else's children. Their father's children.
But the father's not even a part of their life. But this is the thing about her husband, though. Like, his thing is, I really don't think he want to be in LA. He'd rather be back home because he's comfortable back home. Everything he talks about, he talks about no pros about being in LA. All the pros is basically like, you have your family, you have your friends, you have your auntie, you have all this back home. But at the same time, as a husband, if we're going to do this together, even my significant other, I'm going to support you regardless of what. Okay, babe, maybe not right now. Let's kind of see how things go over the next 6 months, and then we kind of see about moving the kids out here, because we just moved out here. Let's kind of get our feet settled in LA first. But his whole thing was just like, no. And I think it's wrong for him not being supportive of Little Mo. He just basically could have told her in different words, like, I support you, but let's kind of wait and see what happens before we actually move the family out here. Not say like, oh, well, your mother's there, your children's there, your auntie's there, my friend's there, everybody's there, our family is there. But I just feel like that's not being supportive of what she wants to do. She want to pursue a career and advance a career and make sure she continue to make hits and make money for her family. You're not supporting me as a spouse overall.
His whole disposition says, I'm not moving to California.
I don't want to be here.
I mean, I still side with Philip in a lot of ways. I think that there are some things that are more valuable than just pursuing your dreams and making money and reaching accomplishments. And I think that's the important thing of why it's such an issue between that particular family, because they have found real values in family and being home and having your kids and your grandparents near them to be able to help you take care of them while you're going on tour, while you're doing all this other stuff. So I think I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I'm somebody who's dove in for my dreams and come out and moved from the South to California and don't have the family and all that stuff. But there's a lot of things that I have gained and I have been able to enjoy. But there's still like foundational things that you don't have that matter and take sacrifice.
And when you have, and it's a different ballgame when you're married and you have kids, because you can't always be selfish and say, I'm not saying she's being selfish, but the fact that she's like, this is what I want to do and we're gonna do it, that is a little selfish when you got kids involved and you got a husband. And I do think he should side with his wife. They're a team.
That's why it's a trial period.
Okay, and I agree with that. I agree with you on the trial period. I just think that you got to take your family into consideration a little more when it comes to your dreams if you have children that depend on you and you're married.
Yeah, but of course.
The same.
And well, I'll tell you one thing. If those kids are in private school, they need money in order to have from the kids to go to private school.
So she can get on that plane.
And she can't go to working a regular type of 9-to-5 job.
Right?
But I don't think that ever has to happen. I mean, with the way school systems is and they have breaks, I mean, there's always enough family time to feed in the fact that you are using the other time that you're not with your family to engage into your career.
Right. But I would say if she's kind of cheap, you know, I love Lamo, but the fact she is cheap. I'm like that too. I'm frugal. I call her frugal, honey. But what I'll say is if she's going to be, there's give and take. There's pros and cons to each side. If you want your kids with you, then you're going to have to stop being cheap and frugal. You're going to have to pay for nannies. You're going to have to pay for private school. You're going to have to pay for
the lawyer,
sitters, the lawyer, everything. Or she can take the cheaper.
I'm about to go home with that, honey.
Right. But she can take the cheaper route and she could keep her kids with her mother and father. Right.
I just think that I think she just wants all her kids to be with her. She wants to be in LA.
Which is very creditable. I mean, and not take away from somebody wanting that.
But one thing that I commend Philip is when he said that the kids have other parents, and I thought that was really respectful, that although it appears that the kid's father is not around for the two girls, that he was still respectful enough to say he's not the only one that they call dad. So, I
want to say this. I love Little Mo's quotes, by the way. But she was like, how long is the monologue? She's like, everybody's vagina gonna be sleep. She's hilarious. She is hilarious. I love her.
So, final thoughts before we go into news and gossip and predictions?
I think next week is really going to kind of, it's going to hit the fan even more next week. We'll
do predictions, but just about this episode, any final thoughts?
I don't know if Kelly's my friend anymore in my head.
Yeah.
Not this episode,
I think, like, we're really going to see Kelly's, like, she's a nice person, but really, we're going to basically see the dictatorship.
And I don't think Chanté's going to let her get away with it. I think like this whole episode was a great depiction of, I mean, everything may not work all the time. Hopefully we can see them get out of this, but I think it is a proper point of battle for them. I mean, I think everybody's really engaged and caring about the monologue situation, so I think it's the passion that's making them really fight more than just ignorance.
Do we have any news and gossip?
We do.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Got the news. Everybody, I just want to let y'all know Chanté Moore is having a concert on Saturday, August the 10th. Doors open at 8:30 at the Savoy Entertainment out in Inglewood. So if you have the opportunity, Inglewood, California. So if you had the opportunity to be out there, please go out and support Miss Chanté Moore of Miss R&B Divas LA.
I love how the Savoy.
That's the boy be getting them dying.
I love how Savoy and Inglewood, I'm
gonna be there next.
They bring all they get all the stars there. I love the fact that they bring it to the community.
Like me.
So you're going?
I'm gonna be singing.
Oh God, girl, please. All right, so let's go into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
The flashing lights and stuff like that.
You guys already kind of gave predictions, but if you have something else, then
I predict Don's eggs are gonna be rotten. No, I'm just playing. But the next episode.
Kind of like rule what the doctor said.
That's what he said, though. In your 40s, your eggs are rotten. That's messed up. No, I think she's gonna get hit hard when she talks to him, but I really do feel she'll be okay. I do think she's gonna be able to have a baby one day.
Soon.
Not if her eggs are rotten. That's for sure.
Mr. Black?
I believe that I think they're going to come to a conclusion or some kind of way to get around this whole Kelly and the power control situation, I think her and Chanté are gonna have to come to some kind of understanding, and I hope they do.
But
I like the fact that they get along.
My thing, it's not even about just Chanté. I think Claudette is gonna be sassy.
Why? Because you kept on looking at her boobs.
She's so fine.
I'm saying
this episode.
She's so beautiful.
All of y'all looking at her boobs.
How you say that? Like,
She looks good in every scene. Usually, you know, the faces go from makeup, no makeup. Her job be like, still good, still good, still good, still good.
She pearly.
So Kelly
outside,
too.
inside,
when Kelly doesn't have makeup, she's still absolutely gorgeous.
When Kelly was at that piano,
she looked good.
She looked all right.
No, she looked beautiful without her makeup. You hate her.
Hey, I'm saying I have my favorites, but at the same time, I just think Claudette's gonna speak up more. I think she'll let sassy like Chanté.
I like how Claudette tries to be the peacemaker. When they were having the conversation after before Kelly, you know, kind of stormed out. Well, Kelly. I feel Kelly is still a friend to me, and so
she is just not for this episode for me.
Kelly, you are still a friend for me, but I think that she needs to realize that just as you were confronting Fred all in the face, I don't know you. I mean, she totally took it back to New York, and I don't think that's really necessary.
Just went too far.
I just think that Kelly needs to realize, just as you don't know the director, the other girls don't know your boy Tori, and so it has to be, you guys have to come to an understanding. Sit down, have a conversation, get to know who this guy is. Look at his credits. He's been nominated for Image Awards. Look at his credits. Go vet him as you would do anybody who's doing your music video. And then sit down and have a conversation with him. I just felt like because of how she walked into the situation, she's not trying to hear it at all. She does not want to deal with him.
Yeah.
Right.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Meg Scoop, like Scoop of Ice Cream. Hit me up because I want to hear from you. And don't forget to go to iTunes and download Adventures of Serial Buddies.
Alfred Thomas, All Eyes on Black. Check it out.
Larice People at True Peoples on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also check out www.trupeoples.com.
And I'm Bamm Ericsen, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bamm Ericsen. Well, this is it, you guys. We had a great show. We want to thank our guest, Mr. Tori Russell, for calling in. This is a great show, and we want to see you. We'll see you guys next week. So thank you guys for watching.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.